I'm just throwing this in there real quick because as I was uploading this and editing this, sparkles went off. And it's never went off before. So, just saying. Super strong. First she turns on the TV, now sparkles has gone off. Hi guys. So, today I'm gonna do Micai's crime chart. I'm probably saying her name wrong. I'm not trying to. I've been saying it wrong, then right, then wrong, then right. So I apologize. It's hard for me to remember how to say it. I'm not great at pronouncing. So first of all, I want to say that everything in this is for entertainment purposes only. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. This is only my opinion and not fact, and this is only astrology. So at the same time, like, you can't change your astrology. It is what it is, and this is our opinions on her crime chart. And again, I'm not an astrologist, but I am learning from an astrologist, and I did this crime chart with an astrologist. So basically, what I'm going to explain to you is everything we went over in the crime chart. And hopefully I don't confuse you too much because I may jump around a little bit because we tend to do that. I just basically write notes and then I kind of just repeat it to you guys. So, and also I helped like try to decipher things and she would tell me if I was right or not. So again, I'm just learning and I'm in no way a professional at this. I am just learning. So I do have to say that I am just being watched over by an astrologist. So I will do my best to explain things and not confuse you. So there's lots of stuff that came out today that I want to go over really quick in case you guys have not seen the link that I did post on my community page and in the group. And the credit goes to Kyler Marlowe on this, where there is a interview with one of her school friends who now has a PI on the case. And there's a few things that I want to bring to light that will, this is going to back up my reading and this is going to back up the crime chart. So keep in mind that we do the crime chart after my reading. So nothing in my reading is done based off the crime chart. I do my reading and then we do the crime chart. And if it matches up, great. And we don't try to make things fit either. So basically everything I got on my reading and how strong she was being is going to be backed up by the crime chart. And honestly, I don't care what's being put out there. Things are not as they seem. People are good at manipulating things these days with technology, with if you have power, if you're able to pay people off, you guys need to keep that in mind. Now, you guys know that I'm not all about conspiracies. We knew that with Kylie when I saw her car go in the water, and that was just as big, and everybody wanted to say that there was some more behind that. I in my mind and heart of hearts, because of what I was shown prior to it even happening, knew that it was an accident. This, on the other hand, I'm not buying it. And for me to say that, it's like very serious because allegedly, I don't buy it. Yeah, because of how strong she was. Like literally, I was not planning to work the night that I did that reading. She forced me to by showing me something over and over and over with the gloved hand on the weapon. And made me channel, and actually I don't feel in my body, and that I keep trying to go back to the channel and I don't remember it. All the cards seem accurate with the fraud and stuff that's going to be coming out. That might be what he gets in trouble for, allegedly. So it's very accurate. And again, when it comes to why I use channeling, cards, and astrology all together is because as a human, I'm only going to get so much as a medium on a case. I won't get all the little details that you may get with cards that are used as symbolism, that if you're already psychic, like you can get a lot more accurate information, and they tend to be wildly accurate on the cases that I use them on. So you have to remember, I see a lot of people say, well, we don't like that you use cards. Well, I don't know what to tell you, because this is about their voice. This is about what happened in the story, and whatever I have to use to get that story out is what I'm going to do. So, I'm only a human. I'm only a medium. I won't get every single bit and piece of information. Everything I pulled on the cards, I probably wouldn't have got that by myself, honestly, because I'm only one person, and in some cases are more clear than others. So all those cards being as accurate as they were, just plays off the channeling, and then use the astrology to back everything up. So because you cannot change your astrology, it is what it is, and this is using the timestamp of when she was found. So, allegedly found, because that's another thing I have to mention. All right, so I have a list here of things I just want to go over real quick. It's just kind of like just bullet points of the video that I suggest that you take a look at, of the link, and I also will post it in the description box. All right, so there was actually no correct autopsy done. There was no GSR done. There was no autopsy done. We're just taking this as an Emmy looking at a body and saying, yep, that's what it was. But no GSR done. I mean, when someone deletes their self, usually don't you do GSR to make sure that's what it is? And he had her cremated like right away. Again, now there can be no correct autopsy done, no second opinion, no nothing. And allegedly, this is coming from a place where there is total corruption, where a lot of these people go to the church, which is now, I think, cultish, allegedly. Just saying that there are cops that go to that church. And it's coming out from the wives of those of people that go to that church how he was teaching men to teach their wives to be subservient, and how the men were changing and the women were like wanting to leave them and separating from them because of that, and that's why they were worried of Mica. Oh, I think I said it right that time. I think if I think too much about it. Anyways, his alibi is very, very weak. He's driving a truck with tinted windows. And who knows if he's even driving that truck. If that truck actually belongs to the church, doesn't belong to him. And he actually had time, according to the timestamps, to drive that, as stated in the link. There's 29 cars that belong to that church, allegedly. And also, the biggest thing is this was on her car. Her car is registered as a white / lavender type car. This was a black car. It actually, the license plate doesn't even register to her. It registered to it in a deceased person's name. So why was she not driving her own car? That's weird in itself. Not to mention is how many people do you know that publicly do something like this? It's almost like there's too much evidence to support this. Most people that unalive themselves or delete themselves, they do it in silence, besides Debbie Collier, which I don't believe was one either. So how many women do you see do that? I mean, usually they just do it in their apartment. They don't drive to a place they don't really know. It's not public. There's not all this evidence of all this happening. It's almost like it's too much evidence to be right. Again, he would have had time to drive. That his alibi is apparently very weak. There's, again, no GSR done, no autopsy done. That was correct. The ME that's there tends to rule, allegedly, a lot of these women unalivings that usually maybe aren't. Again, it's really strict to get a DV charge around there. The police changed their post 9 times, which is kind of weird with the timeline. I mean, don't you want to get a timeline correct before you post it? I don't know, maybe. There's just a lot of things that aren't adding up. Then we have the time frames of her having the necklace on and then her not having the necklace on. And apparently she always wore that necklace. No, she did not pawn it because on the receipt it states debit. Why did she have all that ammo? And I don't know if he was wearing the necklace, because to me, when I looked at the pictures and I zoomed in, they don't look the same, but it's hard to tell. I know a lot of people were saying that, but she loved that necklace, and it was a debit purchase. It's not a pawning thing, allegedly. And she's wearing it one time, then she's not wearing it. There's a candle on the table in one picture, and then it's gone in the next one. It's almost like things were pieced together. Okay. I mean, we all know the 911 call sounds weird. There's no emotion. It could even be AI, which actually is in her chart, which is weirdly enough. So those are just some things I wanted to go over. Again, I'll post the link, but the link is also in the community post. And this is from someone. This is factual stuff. So if you don't think things are weird before, please know that things are not as they seem in this case. Don't take things at face value. It's almost like there's too much evidence, too much surveillance, which surveillance did come in the card reading. to be like, okay, this is what it is. I think it was made to look like that. Like, there has to be the evidence to support what they're trying to sell, because no one's going to believe it without that proof, right? So, again, a lot of weird things going on. All right, so we're going to go ahead and pull up her chart. And I'm just going to go off my notes. Sorry if I kind of jump around. I'll just pay attention to the information that's being said. You don't have to necessarily pay attention to the degrees and all of that. Just see what the information is saying, and I will try to describe that the best way that I can, okay? Okay, so on the ascendant, we have her represented by Black Moon Lilith at 23 degrees, which is an Aquarius degree. Okay, so she was seen, this is how she was seen by, or viewed by, or he was, not how she really was, but how he was viewing her. She was seen as a sexual woman, an S, a W, like that's his own projection and of an idea of how women aren't supposed to be independent. And she was using videos to call him out, hence the Aquarius degree, which is all about like, so it could be social media, it could be anything that's out there, like digitally. And she was rebelling against the church and him, so she had info to bring him down via technology. And as we know, narcissists don't think rationally. She probably didn't think it would come out, because apparently he gets away with everything, and this is all allegedly. Also, Aquarius rules cults, and it can rule shore, so I don't know how close to the shore she was. He thought that she was dumb with like leaving him and hooking up with men in his mind, so it's kind of hypocritical. He didn't like her speaking her mind and what she did. And again, Aquarius rules like digital evidence, documentation, social groups. He didn't like that she had a lot more support than what she should have, and she was viewed as a problem. But Black Moon Lilith also has a sexual component to it. And also he didn't like independent women, and he wants them to be subservient, just as he teaches the people in his church, allegedly. Okay. So, and the descendant, now this is really important right here. Okay, so the descendant, so when we have to remember, ascendant is our victim. So that's what all that I just talked about, how she's being viewed. Okay. Now the descendant is our perpetrator. Okay. So in this case, there is a perpetrator. It wouldn't be like this if there wasn't a perpetrator. Okay. Oh, I have to say one more thing about the ascendant and the victim. It's also at 24 degrees. Sorry, so that's water. And also the fact that he plays off that angle, but she was found in water. Okay. And she's also represented by Virgo, which is like someone that's really practical, really smart. Okay. So we go over here to the descendant. We have the descendant on a Pisces degree, and he was actually allegedly on lithium and meds himself. And Mars is only 3 degrees off of the ascendant. Okay. So basically, he was allegedly diagnosed with things that he's accusing her of with the mental illness. So he's projecting it, allegedly. Also, this could mean like drinking. And it was said that he did drink by the girl that he tried to hit on. He drank an old fashioned in that one, and that actually did come in the cards about the drinking. So he may have had a bit bigger drinking problem, because this can indicate like heavier alcohol abuse. And the fact that it's so close, the 27, the 20, fact that it's so close, is not what you would expect to see in a deletion. Okay. Mars associated with men, car, and weapon, and he's literally behind her by 3 degrees. Okay. And again, this is a timestamp of when the body was found. All right. So 3 is big with the 3 degrees, 3 degrees off. So he's literally right on top of her. So we have 8th house. Where is this? Eighth house Aries, we have a head wound, violent, and also because Mercury rules Virgo, which is what she's ruled by. Okay, we have the sun in the ninth house is also the religious connection. Okay, again, if I'm skipping around, I'm sorry. We kind of did that a little bit. So 8th-degree Scorpio can indicate suicide, but when you look at everything else with the stellium in the 7th house, it points to, marriage and relationships. With a deletion, you would expect to see a lot in the 12th house of mental illness, which you see nothing in the 12th house. Okay. If unaliving, the first house should be Aries in the first house of physical body, gun to own or pew pew to own head, and Pisces and the 12th house of mental illness. So, and that would put a stellium in the first house and no descendant. So that's what you would see if it was an unaliving or a deletion, which we don't have that in this chart. Just saying, we don't. It's not in here. That's not. It's not pointing to that at all. Mars is directly on the descendant, and it puts him the perp right there, some way. I'm not really sure how he did it, but it puts him there. And when Mars is directly on the descendant, it speaks loud to a male perp using violence. Mars represents a pew pew in the 7th house and Pisces in water, with Saturn be the body also in water. Saturn right here. And she just passed her Saturn return. So we kind of need to know more of the transits for her moon and sun, but we kind of know a little bit of it because we looked it up without the time, and it says her natal Saturn was right on the natal sun, just like Summer was when she passed. So it's an indicator of a passing also, or an exit point that can happen. So, and no displacement. I know a lot of people are going to say this, so I'm just going to say it, and I might repeat it because I might have wrote it down twice. This placement does not speak to the fact that she did it because he drove her to do it. This puts a male perp behind her and on top of her, not herself, with the 3 degrees difference. Sorry, I had a cough. And also the Neptune is 22 degrees on her birth chart. So that means that a passing with a lot of mystery and confusion, and actually at the kill or be killed degree. And that's without like the birth time. We would know more with the birth time. She actually has a couple 22-degree placements with just the birth time. And the 22 degree is more to indicate an unaliving rather than a deletion. Okay. And also the birth chart, she has a Neptune and a Capricorn degree and 22 degrees. So confusing energy surrounding an unaliving. I'm going to call the red rum an unaliving and deletion the S word. Okay. I don't know what we're allowed to say and not allowed to say, which I think is kind of ridiculous. But anyways. So we have Saturn and Neptune in a Cancer degree. Okay. So that can be like drug abuse, mind games, psychological, with someone a Cancer degree, someone that's considered family. And the Saturn is at 16 degrees, so death being caused by the family in the 7th house of marriage. I'll just let that speak for itself. Neptune and Mars are 1 degree off. So right here. So that's delusions around it and water, which she was found in water. And 28 degrees Cancer is reflective of a marriage life being riddled with drug abuse, mind games, and can indicate an alcoholic. The VX is the point of luck in this, is at a Sagittarius degree in Pisces. So Sag rules churches and deception. So basically, it locks in this case as an abusive marriage being exposed as a point of luck in the 7th house of marriages. So it's exposure of that kind of relationship in a church setting, and there's going to be a ripple effect with it. Like more people speaking out against church, more people speaking out against DV in the church, or this kind of cultish kind of situation. Neptune at 29 degrees. Now is all codes will be exposed. That's going on in the universe now. That's not in her chart. Her chart's at 28 degrees, but it being at 29 degrees, that means it's going to be exposed, like far reaching. Okay. So she has a big stellium in the 8th house, all in Aries of death. Venus, Mercury, Chiron, and the North Node are all there in Aries. Venus and Chiron is related to a head wound on a female. Mercury is also there ruled. She's ruled by Mercury with being Virgo. It's also then the North Node is the end of the matter. So 2 degrees off of the Mercury, meaning that she was found quickly. Chiron is at a Scorpio degree, so sexually motivated, very violent, bloody, things like that. Revenge also. Venus is at a Gemini degree, so and Mars is at the same degree in Gemini, so male and female. Communication between the two of them, or communication at some time between her and him at some time. It can also be another woman, but things about charts and things like charts sometimes have multiple meanings. So can cards and things like that. That's just the way that it works. But basically, it's saying that there had to have been some kind of communication at sometime, some way, some shape, somehow. And again, the route from Charleston could have gotten there on time. The alibi is not as tight as people think it is. So that's not in the chart. That's just what's being said. We have Uranus at 22 degrees, kill or be killed, in Taurus. Shocking event in kill or be killed. Taurus is money. Unalivings are not really seen as kill or be killed degree. I mean, deletions, I should say. Deletions are not really seen as a kill or be killed degree. It's mostly red runs and unalivings. So it's not presenting as an unaliving in this with the 22 degrees in the Uranus. And also Aries is really fast moving. There's no retrograde here, so everything's coming out really fast. Mercury is at a Cancer degree, so that's representing her because he met her as a teen, and also Mercury rules adolescence, so it also rules multiple people. Mercury, so this could be like sexual stuff revolving teenagers coming out, and in the 8th house of sex and taboos. Okay. Venus is a grown woman. Chiron is the womb, and Mercury adolescent. So he wounded her. Can't even read my writing. Like, she didn't get to grow into like a natural woman, like, because he wounded her by grooming her the way that he did into his image and his thing. Scorpio degree, also sexual stuff, maybe started things sexual at that age, at a young age, adolescent age, because of the Mercury there. North Node is at Taurus degree, so many assets, land, the 8th house, so shared resources, so things, so money may actually start his undoing, like he may lose a lot of that stuff, which I guess FBI did come in, and that was in the cards as well. So you have the Neptune at 28 degrees. It's a Cancer degree, so household name. It suggests like the household name of fame. It's in the late degree, so it's a name that people know. In your name that people know, basically. Name is becoming known, maybe even a documentary. It might start a movement. Cancer degree can represent the state in itself, so there might be a law for domestic violence or something like that, which I think also came in the reading, if I can remember right. So you have the 9th house, Taurus. It's in Taurus. So money involving church. Sun, 8 degrees is a Scorpio degree. It's conjunct the part of fortune. So taboo, sexuality, sex, SA, trafficking. Sun, her fidelity, and the perp. So he stole her sexuality, and it means blood and brutal death. And quick. So it was quick and not prolonged in her passing. Like, it was very fast. When she was tortured by him, probably with sexual stuff in the marriage. This is kind of like, this indicates like a crime of passion and revenge. The part of fortune. We would worry if something if like other stuff was in retrograde, indicating that he's been getting away with stuff. But most of the stuff is above the horizon, out in the open, out in broad daylight. So there's not a lot of stuff below the horizon. So that's really good, because all this stuff is being seen right now. So we have Jupiter close to a Uranus right here. So that enhances the shock. And it's at the top of the chart. So again, very public, and destabilizing to the church as a whole. and the Christian community in America. Secrets to come out that are connected. People are gonna feel empowered to share their stories. Jupiter expands whatever it touches, so it's touching this Uranus of shocking events. So that's why it's so big right now, is Jupiter is literally expanding everything. That's why there's a social media obsession. And the midheaven is also at 27 degrees, which is Gemini, which is a social media social media thing, social media obsession. And depending on what degree his Gemini sun is, which we're thinking he's a Gemini, if we could find a date, that would be wonderful for his birthday, but we can only find that he's born in May, which could be Gemini if it's the later part of May. So we're just curious. If so, that means that it would be like the 10th house of the sun would be just in the 10th house of career, being destroyed in the most public place. So if it's in that, depending on what degree his sun is in, that would be interesting. So across the midheaven, we come down here to the IC line, and this is things that are more hidden. And the MC line is what's public. Okay, so everything appears public. This is what's hidden. And there's not a lot that's hidden in this. So IC is in the 4th house, domestic life, in Sagittarius, religious influence. He was so he's killing that privacy. So why he thought this was help, I don't know, because stuff is coming out about his home life and his house, or all of that kind of stuff, so he's symbolically killing also his relationship with his kids. So the moon in the 4th house at a kill or be killed degree in the 4th house of the home and the womb or the tomb. For one, it's illusions of religion with the Sagittarius degree, because Sagittarius rules churches and things like that. And the moon is forming a square Saturn to her body. So we're wondering if there was lost pregnancies or if she was pregnant at the time, which is interesting because that also came in the reading. And the moon is not really clustered. It's down here by itself at the 22 kill or be killed. Again, not a deletion degree. So, and the 4th house is relating to the home. By being in this home, she was in danger. Basically, that's what it means. Her faith was sincere, and he used it as fear and power. She could have had miscarriages. Because Chiron is also trining the moon, which could be a wound to the reproductive tract. So she might have had possible miscarriages, which again aligns with the reading. South node in the 2nd house of Taurus, money and relationships. Libra, it's in Libra. So he's losing money and what's left behind. And so the 2nd house is money he's earned passively, gained and share, and can be also gained in shady ways and stuff like that. Like he's actually losing it by what he did, allegedly. So this is he's losing income. Like divorce was possibly a motivating factor because Libra is marriage and it's shared resources. So she would have gotten money. Not sure how much money he was making. He might have been fake flexing a little bit, but Libra rules women, attitude towards women, and it ended up being his downfall. So Pluto in the 6th house of health in Aquarius, it's a Taurus degree. So destruction, the 6th house of work, Aquarius, cults, church, destruction. Pluto is widespread destruction, of the church and cults. Also by like the social media influence and all of that. And Taurus rules money. So complete destruction of the cult and churches and money. Dharma. It's funny because I thought she said that, but I guess I just was hearing it. But it means good versus evil, restoring balance. Restoring balance through chaos and destruction is basically what this whole thing is with Pluto. And also Pluto in Aquarius was back when the revolutions happened. So that's why you see all of this stuff happening, where people are standing in their power and causing revolutions and stuff. So he created his own destruction basically by being a narcissist, allegedly. He was trying to make an example out of her and put her in an institution and trying to make other men do the same to their wives. So if this was self-inflicted, I'll tell you what you should see. You would see more in the 12th house, which is absolutely nothing. And the 6th house, you would see more. You would have more planets below the horizon and not public like they are. You would have, there's so much in the 7th house that particularly Mars and Saturn are masculine energies. So much in the 7th house is a perp, and it's 3 degrees off. Basically, it's 3 degrees off of her. The person is literally leaving the scene of the crime at this time. So no, it's not emotionally that he made her do it. It's physical. He was physically there by 3 degrees. He was literally leaving the scene at this time, allegedly. So if it wasn't unaliving, you would see all that other stuff. You would see it in the 12th house. You would see stuff below the horizon. You would see more in the 6th. But you would not see it in this way where you have all this masculine energy and literally 3 degrees off from her of a perp leaving the scene. Allegedly. So you would look for a traditional sign of Neptune and Jupiter, of the 7th, which is in the 7th house. Delusion and misinformation, AI technology, manipulation. AI came up in Neptune later, in the later degrees of Pisces, introduction of AI. So last year, later degrees of Pisces, especially with Mars so close. So you look to Jupiter, and Jupiter's in the 9th house of the church. Pastor, religious leader. Jupiter already rules religion, expansive force of religious leaders. According to this, no mental illness with her, or not what he was saying, so more likely just PTSD and trauma. He is the one with the mental illness in the chart, allegedly. Mars is a young and in shape guy under 45, which he was 44. Plus Saturn is there, so he's on the verge of 45 or older than her, an authority figure to her. Also, he was authority figure, like, in the community and of the church and stuff like that. Also, the Venus is at the same degree as Mars. Again, this can be taken as another woman is involved, but her and him, they had some communication as well. Possible being at the same degree. And allegedly, it's being said that he did pay off people before in an interview. And this is coming from a girl that knows a lot about the church and involvement in the church because of her own husband being in there. So, to sum it all up, there's nothing in this chart that indicates that she unalived herself or deleted herself or whatever you want to call it. We have a perp literally leaving the scene, 3 degrees off. And this all backs up the reading. So, I mean, you don't have to listen to my reading as far as what was said by her, that she forced me to say, that she turned on the TV when she started talking about how the women were standing up, knew what was going on and stuff. She turned on the Netflix, and we just talked about documentary. Maybe there's going to be a Netflix documentary. I don't know. I don't have Netflix. It's funny it turned on that. And it's she was channeling more than I realized, because I keep trying to go back. I don't remember. So you don't have to believe anything that I say, but let the chart speak for itself. This is the crime chart. You can't change this. And I mean, it depends on how you read it, but it's pretty straightforward. This is how we're reading it. This is how we're interpreting it. This is, again, all alleged. And this is our opinion. So this also would back up what a lot of people think. This would back up, if we take all of this other stuff that seems to be planet evidence, there's almost too much evidence to say, yeah, this is what it was. Most people don't do these things. And also the card said hijack. So she's not even driving her car. That's just weird to me. So I don't know how he did it exactly, allegedly. But according to the chart, she did not delete herself. So you guys can take it as that. It's not what the chart is portraying. I hope you guys understood what I was saying. And I hope you understood the information. I tried to go as slow as I could. This gets me really riled up. I get kind of upset when people are being I don't know. Things are not always as they seem all the time. And again, I'm not one of those huge conspiracy theorists. I don't like to throw out a lot of that stuff. But when you have the reading, her pushing with the reading, and we have the astrology chart, everything lining up, and plus all of the discrepancies and stuff, and all, how he's connected and all of that, you guys have to only, you can use your own imagination and figure things out for yourself. He made her look crazy, but that does not mean that she was crazy, Even if there's videos out there, some people can only take so much. And if you really love somebody and you're trying to help them, you're not recording them in that way. You know, he's projecting onto her and making her, trying to make her look bad to make himself look better. But that's why so many people are coming out. So, I mean, use your own eyes. Astrology does not lie, although this is for entertainment purposes only and all alleged. So hopefully this helps with anybody's doubts about what they're feeling and thinking about this case. And I really felt like it was important to put it out there. And so hopefully I didn't talk too fast because I do have ADHD a little bit, and I'm just so passionate about this case for some reason. So until next time, I appreciate you guys.